And you've just heard Nocturne 7 by Demi McMahon, and I'm pleased to be joined by Demi now. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really well, thanks. I'm really well.
Okay.
So what can you tell us about Nocturne 7?
Well, it's originally done by a musician from Dundee, a legend, Billy McKenzie.
Right?
He probably, yeah, he
Yeah,
passed
from
away
the
a couple of years
Associates.
ago. Yeah, yeah. I know, I actually love his music, and it just shows that even though he's sadly not here,
Mm.
his music lives on. And I just wanted to do my own take on a song that I thought, I felt was like quite touching, because I like songs that quite, like pull your heartstrings kind of thing. So I wanted to do a song that I kind of thought, like felt connected to, yeah. So I wanted to do that
I
and
think
release it, yeah.
absolutely. I think Billy McKenzie, one of the great singers.
I
Never from
know,
anywhere, just a fantastic singer.
I know, amazing. And he always like had a good personality, which you can see, on like videos. I thought, oh my god, he's amazing kind of character, and I know it's such a sad loss, but it's amazing how like even his music still lives on through even this generation kind of thing, yeah.
He really was a character. There's a great story, and I think you can see the clip on a Top of the Pops. You can catch it on YouTube,
Yeah.
where they had chocolate guitars made for the performance.
I've seen that. That's brilliant.
I
I
know.
know, I was. Or the one when he looks miserable and then he goes into like the happy face. I'm like, that's brilliant. Oh, I love
And they
that.
always looked amazing. He was dressed like a
I
captain's pilot,
know.
or I mean, really a handsome man as well.
I
It was
know.
you're right. It's a real loss, but the music that he left
It's,
behind is amazing.
yeah, I know. It's a shame. It's so sad. And he loved animals. He loved his dogs. So I love
Uh-huh.
animals. I'm like, oh.
And he,
But
and
yeah, no, I just wanted to do something like
and
that.
he stayed in
Yeah.
Dundee, didn't he? I mean, he probably could have gone
Yeah.
anywhere he liked, but he really was a Dundonian through and through.
Yeah, that's true. And that's like kind of like me. I kind of feel like even though you do lots of gigs out with, you always feel like your home's your home. Even though people like slag it up and stuff, not out with and all that, but I always feel like home is home, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
But there's been so much happening in Dundee recently. Obviously, you've got the V&A, but you've got other things as well. And how is the music scene in Dundee for folk who don't know? Is it thriving?
Yeah, I feel like still Glasgow's obviously the place to be kind of thing, but I feel like Dundee's getting better again. I feel music venue Clark's is reopening again, so that's good. That's a good venue for like musicians and bands. It's always a good vibe when you go in. So I'm quite grateful to be at the other end of the news thinking, oh, is that opening again? Kind of thing. I don't know if you've been there, but it's amazing. That's run by the Clarks, Kit Clark and Gary
Yes.
Clark and the
Oh,
family.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, even and yeah, they've like reopened it again because through COVID they shut it, and it was also quite sad. But I feel like yeah, the music scene's picking up again, which is good because the COVID was a horrible time. So it's good that everything's getting back to normal and we can all see each other and enjoy music again, because that was a big heartbreak I felt when yeah, that all was closed down for everyone. It was all online. Remember that? Oh,
Yeah, I
that's how
know.
we met.
Right. That is how we met. But also, we
Yeah,
met when I came to see you play live fairly recently in Glasgow at
yeah,
Broadcast.
yeah.
And that was a great example of just folk. You can just feel it, can't you? That folk are just so delighted to be back
Oh,
out.
I know. Oh, it was an amazing feeling. And it's good seeing people, yeah, like you say, just they look so happy and delighted to be back out. I thought that actually. I was like, wow, everyone seems so, um, like in awe of like music being there in front of them again instead of on a screen. So it's good. I
Yeah.
always feel it's like much better live. It's always a good feeling being right in front of someone singing or performing. It's good.
And what about, from your point of view, is live is important to you to be playing? Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel it's good because I feel like you can change it up more live, even on the spot. It's good to just change it up instead of just like sharing your music online. You can like put your own twists on it live, and people are like, "Oh, I like how you did that, but you didn't do it on your track." And I'm like, "Yeah, just like do it spur of the moment." But yeah, it's good doing that, and it's good seeing people's faces, like lighting up or feeling connected to the music, which is what it's all about. I feel. Yeah.
And your own music, I mean, it varies. Kind of, what we've just heard there, Nocturne 7, is quite almost jazz, isn't it? That as
Yeah.
the later Billy McKenzie stuff was a bit like that as well. But we're going to play Flames later on, which is a kind of more of a pop song, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop soulish kind of feel. Yeah. Yeah. So Flames is a bit different again. I kind of like. I don't want to stick to the same genre. I kind of like branch out just so it's not kind of niche in a box kind of a genre. Yeah, so Flames, yeah, I've got a video coming out for that soon, so that'll be good fun.
Oh,
So that's
great.
exciting. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
And you know, you released the album Rainbow Remedy last year, and that kind of showcases just that. You know, you've got soul, you've got pop, you've got a bit more jazzy stuff. You really, you don't can just stick to one genre, do you? You can,
Yeah. Which is sometimes hard because sometimes like gigs are like, oh, we just kind of take on rock, and I'm like, oh well, there's like one or two that's kind of like heavier, but there's not many, so just like that would have been good, but obviously I can't do that. So it's good the gigs that are kind of like like cater for a lot of variety of music. I always feel like good as well. It's good to be on a stage with like like a heavy metal band or something, because then it's good for like the audience to come see a bit of everything instead of just one genre. Even me, like I'm not into heavy metal, but I can appreciate how amazing, talented they are. And it's good
oh
to see
yeah.
like heavy metal bands, and I'm like, wow, that's quite good actually, even though I'm not into that. But I'm like, I like that. That's good. So it's good, yeah.
And it's such you know, under that, there's so many different types and styles and all of that kind of thing. So it's, yeah, it's good to kind
Yeah.
of push your kind of what you wouldn't normally go and see, kind of out your comfort zone.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll
So
be waiting for your thrash metal album at some point.
you'll just see me on the stage like moshing. God, they must get a sore head doing that, honestly.
Yeah. What when the album came out, how's it been received? Have you been pleased with how it's been received?
Yeah. Like people have commented on my page, or like sometimes through Dundee, you're walking by and just doing your own thing, and like kindly people will be like, "Oh yeah, I heard your song on the radio, or I heard your song on like YouTube or whatever," and they're like, "Oh, like that or this," and they're like, "Oh, I feel connected to that song," or I like the Loved and Lost. I done that one, and that was like a sad song, but people could really connect to it because everyone's like lost someone one way or another kind of thing. So a lot of people message being like, oh yeah, I felt really connected to that because I lost someone in my life, and I feel
Mhm.
like that song kind of helped them. So that's quite touching, knowing that the music's kind of helped people. I feel that's quite like, I don't know, what's the word? Just it's amazing how like you put your music out there, and then people can just totally take it that way. You're like, oh
It must be amazing because you write these songs, it's your words, you know, that you're putting out there, and then for other people to connect with them in that way, it must be really special.
yeah. I know. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's happened. I was like, wow. Well, that's a good thing because I'm like, it's good putting your creation out there and just hoping for the best that it helps someone. And then when people are helped, you're like, wow, it actually has helped. So I kind of like helping people through music and through like my day job, caring. So it's just like within me really to help people.
Yeah.
So I was quite grateful. Yeah, thank you.
And can you tell us a bit about your early influences and even or who kind of influences you now?
Yeah, God, I always say this. It's always like dead legends. Well, I liked Eva Cassidy. She's
Mm-hmm.
no longer here. Amy Winehouse, no longer here. Bob Marley, no longer here. Oh god. But no, people nowadays, I feel like Jessie J, like she's pop
Yeah.
and she's got a good range, and um I like Mariah Carey, like her kind of vocal range and ability. I like Sia, she's
Mm-hmm.
unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's got a unique kind of voice, and yeah, so they're the people I kind of like nowadays. But then I like the old legends, that have passed on. But then again, music still plays a part in people's lives to this day.
And
Yeah.
did you get into music early on? Was it something that you really kind of fell in love with at a young
Yeah.
age?
Yeah, so in my household, mum and dad grew up, like with a variety of music, associates, Mariah Carey, what do you call it, Motown music even as well. My
Yeah.
mum like dances to that, but yeah, so I was always growing up around it, and then I always like used to sing around the house, and used to be like no talent shows at school, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was like a talent show, and they're like, oh, do you want to sing? Because like obviously they're like saying what's your hobbies? I love singing. Like, would you want to sing? And then I was like, oh no, I'm scared. Like it's funny that how you look back saying I'm scared, but now you like love it. But yeah, it's just after that first time you do it, singing at a talent show, you get that buzz and that feel of people like enjoying it and you're enjoying it. And I was like, wow, I love this feeling of being on stage, like putting your music across to people. And then I just thought from there I wanted to pursue a music career. And mum and dad also like says, oh, if you love singing, why don't you go for it? And so it's quite good, like how you've got a family that are quite supportive, and
Definitely.
yeah.
So when did you write your first song and you think, well, this is good? When did it move from being, yeah, I'm really going to go for it? Was that support kind of key to it that you thought, yeah, people have got my back?
Yeah, I feel like support's always a good thing to have, you know, from people because it gives you the wee boost, like, oh, should I do it? But then I feel like everyone's born with some sort of like talent or passion, and I feel like that's always been mine. And I always feel like, yeah, I just feel, yeah, like when I was like younger, I felt like, oh yeah, I'll do it at the talent shows, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna write some songs, you know, come to your mind, like just writing how you feel and how other people would feel, kind of thing, and then putting it to like, you know, like a wee play acoustic guitar, and then I would just kind of like record it on my phone. Then it would go from, no, I might go to the studio and just do it and see. And then I did this Why Am I thing, no, the Gardyne Theatre, Dundee, Broughty Ferry. Um, yeah, and I was good from that as well, like, you know, performing your own songs. And it was just a good feeling, like people connecting to your own material was a much better feeling than doing covers, even though covers is good, making it your own, but it's nothing better than writing a song and thinking, that was actually me that wrote this mental, like, how could that happen? And people are like saying that's good, and you're like, that's mad, because it's your own thing, it's not like someone's done it. You're like, that's a bit, but yeah, I'm quite humble, I'm like, oh god, but yeah, no, I'm like, thank you. But yeah, I just love music and how it makes people feel and how it makes me feel too. Yeah.
And going back to Nocturne 7, is that a kind of one-off release, or are you already thinking about the next album?
Yeah, so back in the studio again, you know, writing more material, um, like a bunch of singles again, and then put it into an album eventually, kind of thing. Yeah, so just writing again and just not rushing it because I don't think
Yeah.
art should be rushed. It has to be like, I always think it should be real. You know how people just like flop out an album and it's like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like random songs. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like for me, I want it to be like again authentic and real and through experience to then put the music out again. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would say about Rainbow Remedy. It feels like a proper album, you know, like each song almost kind of feeds into each other and there's themes
Thank
running
you.
through it. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've got like songs that kind of connect to people. No, like I've got a party song which is like everyone likes a wee party, like out and out. And then I've got like touching songs like Loved and Lost, and then I've got like a reggae song because I kind of like the feel of Bob Marley, that influence there. Um, and Flames, like, but yeah, you're right. It's like a mixed genre, so it's quite good to yeah share that.
And have you got gigs coming up? What's next for you?
Yeah, so I'm waiting to do an HMV Scottish tour.
Right.
So like yes, that's good at HMV doing that, you know, like helping musicians again, like push their music out there. So that'd be good doing like around the Scottish like music scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, you could do like your performance and at the end you can like sell your CDs or plug your music by saying, look, add me on. But yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. It's good HMV doing that. I feel that's quite a good thing.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
quite good, supportive as well. I know. So that'd be good fun. And then again, writing new songs. I've got a gig that'll probably, well, when is it actually? It's this Friday, it's at church. So it's probably been and gone as I've said
Go
this
on,
now,
yeah.
but but yes, so that'll be good fun. Yeah. Yeah, just busy again, gigging and Pride festivals. Love doing them because they're amazing. People are so accepting of like of people instead of like you know how people are a bit funny with like LGBT and all that, but then I feel like you should just accept people for who they
Mhm.
are. Yeah. So I love that too. So it's fun.
It's great. I wonder if this year will be the first year that festivals really come back where everyone's feeling, you know, safer than they were even maybe last year. It'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
Hopefully, yeah, because I feel like within the last year it's not been totally the same. You can feel
Mhm.
that it's not really got there yet.
Yeah, that's the case because it's been a real uplift to me to be able to go back and just being with people, you know, and catching up with
Yeah.
people that you've maybe only seen over Zoom the last
Yeah.
2 years, like yourself.
I know. I know. It's much better to actually see people in real life. And it's funny with the people you met through online through the COVID, when you see them in person, you're like, oh, that's you. Remember that time at the gig? I was like, recognize you. You're like, yeah, duh. I was like, yeah, but you know. It's funny because you're just used to seeing that many people online through
Yeah,
that COVID, and then you see them in person. It's like, wow, that's amazing. I
exactly.
know.
Demi, thank you so much for taking the time to
Thank
talk to me. I've
you.
really enjoyed it.
You too. It's been a good laugh as well. Thank you as well. Thank you.
And
Oh.
this is Demi McMahon and Flames.